So last week I somehow managed to find a Redbox that still let us rent movies, despite Redbox being bankrupt and having no employees. And in this video, we're gonna go to 25 more Redbox kiosks and see how many of them still let us rent movies. So we started our journey by going back to the original Food Lion where we had got our movies from the last video. And unfortunately the screen was still really dark. We couldn't see much of anything. We did eventually somehow manage to get one DVD copy of Dead for a Dollar. Not a great start, to be honest, but we thought our luck might change if we went to a Walmart in the search for an infamous blue box instead of the normal red box. Unfortunately, all we found was one of these sell your phone station things, which is kind of interesting. Maybe we'll do a video on it. Moving on, we went to a Lowe's Foods next, and this place had a really interesting find. They had a normal Redbox kiosk, but it had a little paper sign over it. It said, "Attention guests, at this time, Redbox services at this kiosk have been discontinued. Thank you for your understanding." The really interesting part is that underneath the paper, you can actually see a Windows 10 start screen. So, I don't know, I kind of want to go back and see if we can, like, play around with it, and maybe we can get in there. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I don't know if that's a good idea, though, because we went to a Circle K next. It was, like, right around the corner, and there was this cop that was, like, following us. Little sketch, so maybe not a good idea to go back there. Maybe the cop was guarding this kiosk, but I don't know why he'd be doing that, because it was broken. You could see the card reader was even ripped off, which is pretty funny. Also, this kiosk was completely destroyed. I don't know what was going on to it, but it was not in good shape. Anyway, we went to a Walgreens next, and we found an amazing discovery. A double Redbox kiosk. I know, it's a real thing. The really surprising thing was that the interface on this Redbox was like more modern or something. I don't know, it just looked a little different. It felt a little snappier. The screen was a little nicer, so it was a nice experience actually. We managed to buy 2 DVDs, a Barbie DVD and Toy Story 4 of all things. And then we waddled on over to the second kiosk, and this one wasn't quite as nice. The screen was really dim, but the interface is mostly the same. It was at this point we noticed that we actually could sort the movies by like type, so we could find Blu-rays as opposed to DVDs. This one didn't seem to have any Blu-rays we could actually purchase though. So we settled on renting this time a copy of The Meg for DVD. This next Harris Teeter stop was kind of sad, honestly. We went to find a Redbox. They only had this like pickup section instead for your groceries or whatever. Lame. At this point, we figured we should go back to the tried and true. A Food Lion worked well before. Let's try another one. So we went to another location, and sure enough, they had another kiosk for us. This time around, we did notice we could format the movies to look for 4K Blu-rays, which I didn't even know you could get in a Redbox, but now we had to find one. Unfortunately, all of the 4K Blu-rays at this location were out of stock. We settled on trying to return some movies we had picked up before. We tried to return a movie we had purchased, which we just thought would be pretty funny. That worked fine. We also tried to return a rented movie that we had picked up from another kiosk, and that also seemed to work fine. So it seems like as long as the machine can scan the code, it's gonna be like, yep, you're good to go. We actually then found one of the movies we had returned, but we noticed they actually had it on Blu-ray this time, so we went ahead and picked that up. And we noticed when we were checking out, there was also like this option to try a promo code. So Jacob took some time trying to find a code that would somehow work. Not surprisingly, when it tried to connect to the server to verify the code, it just failed. Using his magical powers, we did manage to get 2 more Blu-rays out of this kiosk, 2 more Disney movies. So at this point in the day, we were pretty happy with what we found. We really wanted to find a 4K Blu-ray now, and ideally, we really wanted one of those fake paper insert things people used to use to scam the machines. We decided to be a good time, take a break, get some food, and go over our collection so far. So let me show you what we had at this point. So the first movie we got was Dead for a Dollar, a film by Walter Hill. I've never heard of this. Looks like some kind of Western thing. I have no idea. It's on DVD, so, could be better. We then picked up a copy of Barbie for DVD. At that same location, we also got Toy Story 4 on DVD. And here's where we really found some of the good stuff. We got Finding Dory on Blu-ray. And honestly, from here on, we were just on the hunt. We were like, okay, if we can find Blu-rays, we're going to keep trying to find, that's all we're going to settle for. No more of this DVD nonsense. We also got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on Blu-ray. Awesome. And finally, we got The Nightmare Before Christmas. All-time classic. The GOAT. Love it. And we got it on Blu-ray. Amazing. Backs to the discs on all these movies were fine, by the way. The only one that's a little messed up is Toy Story 4. I guess that makes sense. It is a DVD. They tend to scratch real easy, and it's a kid's movie, so you never know what they're going to do with their movies. Either way, the next stop in this journey, absolutely insane. I don't think we'll ever see something like this again. You're not even going to believe it. You'll see. We moved on to another food line because we were having success with those so far, and sure enough, we found another Redbox kiosk. We still couldn't find a 4K Blu-ray, unfortunately, but we did pick up 2 more normal Blu-rays, and we also got some spare empty cases because I don't know, why not? The craziest part of this part of the journey, though, was that when we were picking up our discs, we noticed in the background there was a guy waiting for us to be done, and we didn't know what he was doing. Like, was he seriously about to go to the Redbox after we were done with it? And sure enough, we noticed as we were walking away, he had a Redbox in his hand, like a Redbox movie, and was going to drop it off at the kiosk. This absolute legend was returning a Redbox DVD like 3 or 4 months after the company went bankrupt. I mean, I just respect that. He didn't even pick up a movie, by the way. He just dropped his old one off that he had picked up like probably over the weekend or whatever. Unfortunately, our next stop was not as fun. This was maybe the dingiest Redbox we found in our entire journey. Look at this sign. It's completely falling apart. Surprisingly, though, this machine still works somehow despite all its trashiness. We didn't find any good movies. They seem to all be purchased by now. So we settled on trying to rent a Blu-ray from this one instead. Also, I really cannot state enough how bad this card reader is. Look at this. You can't read anything. The whole thing is like crumbling to pieces. How does this even happen? Anyway, we went to a Speedway next, and surprisingly, they actually had a Redbox kiosk. Most of these gas stations, they seem to not have them anymore, but this one, for some reason, was still trucking. Unfortunately, this one didn't work. The card reader was also missing, which is interesting. It also had this really weird phrase on the little advertisement section of the Redbox. It's a disc goose. What does that mean? I don't want to know. Honestly, this is where the whole journey took a bad turn. This CVS we went to didn't have a Redbox, even though Google Maps said they would. Same thing with this Food Lion, the tried and true Food Lion. They let us down. I don't know why. And this Redbox at this Lowe's Foods was so disastrous for the company that they shut down the entire Lowe's Foods store with the Redbox. That's crazy. Fortunately, things started looking up when we went to our next stop, which was a Walgreens, where we found another double Redbox kiosk. Yes! And when we lifted the flap, look at that. It worked, and it was great. I mean, look at the screen. This is so vibrant. I wish I could watch my Redbox movies on this screen. It was so good. As usual, we looked for 4K Blu-rays, but we couldn't find any. Big shame. But we did find normal Blu-rays. We settled on Disney movies because those seem to almost always be in stock if the kiosk had Blu-rays. I don't know why. We were excited to move on to the other half of this double kiosk, but unfortunately the second one didn't work anymore. In fact, this one was so bad, it was broken for so long, it had cobwebs coming out of the disc slot. Like, that's something. We checked out this CVS next, which also didn't exist, another victim of the Redbox pandemic. There was a Food Lion right around the corner though, and sure enough, there was a Redbox kiosk waiting for us. Unfortunately, the dust had gotten too far into the system and it didn't seem to work anymore. What we really wanted to find at this point was another broken kiosk that was at least broken like an interesting way, like that window screen we saw earlier. So we went up to another Lowe's Foods, and when we got inside, they also had this paper on top of the machine that said it was broken, but this one seemed to be working fine, so I don't know why they had that sticker on it. As soon as we started interacting with the machine though, there was an employee like around the corner who was like eyeing us weird, so we were like, we gotta get our movie and get out of here. So we picked up a copy of Barbie for DVD, and we ran out of that store so fast. We hadn't visited a Walmart in a while though, so we figured we'd give that another try. And when we went inside, we found another kiosk, surprisingly. This one had a little paper thing over it, kind of like that Lowe's. It said, at this time, Redbox services at this kiosk have been discontinued. Underneath though, you could clearly see that the machine was working fine, so I don't know why they're doing this. Big Grocery was trying to stop us from getting the movies, I swear. Despite what the paper said, yeah, the machine worked fine. We were able to buy a movie, no problem, honestly. But in the end, we decided we had to respect the signs. So we went ahead and returned those movies we bought from the kiosks with the signs over them. Anyway, that was the final thing we did for the day, but I want to go over our final haul, the final stack, along with the stack I got over here, the movies I showed earlier. Just look at this. Look at this thick stack of movies. This is amazing. Redbox has been down for many months at this point, and you're still able to go out and get this many movies. Please do it yourself. Highly recommend. By the way, we still at this point have not gotten charged for any of the purchases or rentals on any of these movies. So just to be clear, I would expect to get charged someday. Eventually, we probably will get charged for all these movies, but that's not why we're doing it. We just want to have as many Redbox movies as possible because we just think that's, interesting. And if that's the reason you want to go do it, I highly recommend you go do it before it's too late, before all your local Redbox kiosks go away and you can't get movies anymore from them. First off, we got this empty case. Just why not? You put whatever you want in here. It says discard this label. Definitely keeping that. I don't know. It's kind of nostalgic. We got another copy of The Nightmare Before Christmas on Blu-ray, of course. We got the Lion King, the live action one on Blu-ray. We got A Quiet Place, which is in the same Disney blue, but it's not a Disney movie. But whatever, it's on Blu-ray. That's great, cool. Here we go though, and another absolute classic, Incredibles 2 on Blu-ray, perfect. We got another copy of The Nightmare Before Christmas on Blu-ray. I love it, I love it. I will buy every copy of this movie I can find, honestly. We got another copy of Toy Story 4, this time upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray, very nice. We have the somewhat rare rental Blu-ray, yet I really have not seen too many of those, honestly. It's Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Martha! We got another copy of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on Blu-ray. And finally, we got Soul on Blu-ray. Great movie. Honestly, what a haul. We checked out something like 23, 24 locations. Of that, I want to say like half of them had kiosks, and of that, like half of those actually still worked. That was better than I expected, honestly. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We have a ton of fun making these Redbox videos. Please keep watching them, like the video, subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.